Hello students, so in this video we'll see the attachment of the exterior of the skull on Norma basalis. So this posterior free border of the hard palate will give attachment to the palatine aponeurosis. This posterior nasal spine will give attachment to the musculus uvuli. This palatine crest will provide attachment to the tendon of the tensor belli palatini muscle. Tensor belli palatini. This inferior surface of the basi occiput, if you see this pharyngeal tubercle, this elevated area is known as pharyngeal tubercle. This pharyngeal tubercle will give attachment to the median raphe, and through which the superior fiber of the superior constrictor muscle of the pharynx is attached. Area in front of this pharyngeal tubercle will form the part of the nasopharynx, and it lies in relation to the pharyngeal tonsil. The muscle's longus capitis is inserted lateral to this pharyngeal tubercle. So lateral area will give attachment to the muscle, that is longus capitis, while the rectus capitis anterior muscle will get attached to this area which lies anterior to this condyles in relation to this hypoglossal canal. This medial pterygoid plate, if you see this medial pterygoid plate, the posterior free margin will give attachment to the pharyngobasilar fascia through whole its length. This lower part of the posterior border along with this pterygoid hamulus, this one is your hamulus, this portion will give attachment to the muscle, that is superior constrictor fiber of the pharynx. The upper part of the posterior border, this will lie in relation to the auditory tube. Cartilaginous part of the auditory tube lies in relation to this, while pterygoid hamulus itself will give attachment to the pterygomandibular raphe. From here the raphe goes to the mandible, known as pterygomandibular raphe. This lateral pterygoid plate, if you see, it has got the medial surface, lateral surface. So this lateral surface of the lateral pterygoid plate will give origin to the lower fiber of the lateral pterygoid muscle. Medial surface of the lateral pterygoid plate will give origin to the deep fibers or deep head of the medial pterygoid muscle. While superficial head of the medial pterygoid muscle arises from the maxillary tuberosity. This region, this is known as maxillary tubercle or tuberosity. From this, along with this pyramidal part of your palatine bone, will give origin to the superficial fiber or superficial head of the medial pterygoid muscle. The spine over this posterior border in the middle of this will give attachment to the pterygospinous ligament. So pterygospinous process which lies over here will give the attachment to the pterygospinous ligament, from pterygospinous process to the spine of sphenoid. This is the spine of sphenoid. From here the ligament is pterygospinous ligament. If you see this infratemporal region of this greater wing of sphenoid, it will give attached origin to the upper head of the lateral pterygoid muscle. So upper head of lateral pterygoid muscles, see the lower head arises from this lateral part of lateral pterygoid plate, while the upper head arises from this infratemporal surface, and it is being crossed by the deep temporal and mesenteric nerves. This spine of sphenoid, it will give attachment to the two muscles, that is tensor belli palatini and tensor tympani muscle, while three ligaments are attached over here. Coming from over here, that is pterygospinous ligament, anterior ligament of malleus, and sphenomandibular ligament from sphenoid to the mandible. So these are the structures which are attached to the spine of the sphenoid. This spine of the sphenoid, it is related laterally to the auriculotemporal nerve, while it is related medially to the chorda tympani now. This inferior surface of the petrous temporal bone, this region, it is related, it gives attachment or origin to the levator veli palatini muscle. This portion will give attachment to the levator veli palatini muscle. The margin of the foramen magnum, this margin, anterior margin will give attachment to the anterior atlanto-occipital membrane anteriorly, while posterior atlanto-occipital membrane posteriorly, while the alar ligament will attach on the rough area over here. So this condylar, medial part of this condyle, the rough area, will give attachment to the alar ligament. External occipital protuberance will give attachment to your ligamentum nuchae. Rectus capitis lateralis is inserted into the inferior surface of the jugular process over here. This jugular process, this will give attachment to the rectus capitis lateralis muscle. While if you see the squamous part of the occipital bone, area between the superior nuchal line and the inferior nuchal line, this medial part will give attachment insertion to the semispinalis capitis, while laterally the superior oblique muscle is attached to this area. While between the inferior nuchal line and the foramen magnum will give attachment medially to the rectus capitis posterior minor and laterally to the rectus capitis posterior major. While the mustard notch, this mustard notch which is there over here, it will give attachment to the posterior belly of the digastric muscle. So this is how the attachments is there on the base of the skull.